Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to some more Smite gameplay footage. I figure I may not do Smite all the time because it seems like the normal people that the normal audience that I have that visits my channel regularly aren't super interested in it. So this is an attempt for me to try to gain some more supporters that are interested in Smite, and hopefully they'll watch some of my videos as time goes on. But for right now, I'm just going to go ahead and show off the new Mayan page. So today we've got a Mayan update. New god. He's a guardian. His name is Cabrakan. And, or Cabrakan, or Cabrakan, or there's a lot of different pronunciations of his name that I've heard, and I don't know for sure. I'll call him Cabrakan, just because it sounds a little bit like Kraken, and the patch update was actually called Release the Cabrakan. So kind of funny. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and show off him and also an Agni skin. So bear with me a little bit here. As we jump into the game, I'll show off some of the stuff. So we're going to go ahead and play a quick practice match, Joust 1v1. And if you guys like it, if you like the video, then later on we'll do some other ones. So first I'm going to show off Cabrakan. Might as well. I can't use the gems, unfortunately. There he is. His recolor is pretty sweet too. White hair and red skin. Looks like a kind of desert lizard man. It's pretty neat. So we're going to fight against Ra. Ra bot as per the norm. Now, we'll go into a couple of things, but I'm going to just go ahead and jump directly into this. Now, since we're going to be fighting against Ra, I'm just going to start off with a Void Stone and then get a health potion, and then I'm just going to kind of rush on out there. Now, Cabrakan is a pretty interesting Guardian class. He's one of the first characters whose passive directly correlates to him being a Guardian, like being a kind of support class character. Now, I'm not sure if he'll be a really widespread support. He has the attributes of a support, but honestly, he's really good at just solo lane play to me. He may also be a fairly good jungler, although I'm not entirely sure about that. He could be, he might not be, I don't know. There's a little bit of a possibility there. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and jump into his 2 ability first, strictly because I need to do it. When I activate it, when I put my first point into it, you gain a passive, and Cabrakan gains increased protections from his shields as his shields take damage. They store energy and gain stacks, but they shed the protections that they have. So he'll take less damage. So if I activate it, you can see down in the corner of the screen. If you look down at the left-hand corner of the screen, the little icon. God bless, I'm taking a shit ton of damage because I didn't go out there in my first wave. If you look at the if you look down there at the little thing that looks kind of like a bullseye type icon. God bless. Back the fuck up, Ra. Can you go away, please? Lord, maybe I should wait until I'm higher level. Yeah, instead of just going out here immediately, I think I'm gonna wait until I'm a little bit of a higher level. This was poor planning on my part. But I'm gonna mess up Ra a little bit, and then I'll try to play because I can't really explain much, if anything, right now. So I'll be back when I'm like level 13 or something. Hang on, guys. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, welcome back. I've beefed up my boy Cabrakan here a little bit. Now, as you can see, if you recognize any of the items down in the lower right-hand portion of the screen, you'll see that I've built him a little bit damagey with one tank item, which is the Void Stone, to kind of start off with. Now, I like to level his 2 first because his 2 puts out some decent damage in the cone, and it's really good at just immediately eliminating the rear minions. It can eliminate the archers just instantly. Now, Ra is still a bunch of bullshit as far as pushing potential goes. He's retarded. But that's Ra for you. So, talking about Cabrakan, the other reason I like to level Cabrakans too, which I kind of got interrupted when I was talking about it earlier, is that Cabrakan has a very interesting... You little bitch, stop running around like a fuck. Yeah, how you like it? I hope you don't. So, Cabrakan's got an interesting little addition on this too. Now, I was thinking that you can break these walls in one hit if you are Cabrakan. If you're not Cabrakan, they have health. And but it's just a little special thing that he can do if the walls are getting in his way. But anyway, thing about Cabrakan is that his one of the reasons that I level his 2 is for clear. The other reason that I level his 2 is because the more you level it, the more bonus protections that you get per stack, which just makes you naturally tankier. Cabrakan is one of these gods that's going to be a beast of a tank later on in the game. And to combat this, they make it so that as he gets hit, he takes less damage. But it means that initially, he's going to have a huge advantage over most everybody. And, ow. Not really much I can do about that. Stop shooting lasers at me, you bird. Fuck's sake. I keep getting interrupted. Here's the deal. If you look at his skills. Refraction Shield. Passive. Cabrakan gains increased protections from his shields. As his shields take damage and store energy, they gain stacks but shed protections. So, at the very first level, you gain 15 protections. Just in general. 15 protection across the board. Then as you level it up, you gain 5 more until you gain 35. Now, every time you get hit up to 5 times, you'll lose those protections. So you end up losing all of them after you've been in battle for a little bit. But it means that initially, as you enter battle, things aren't going to do nearly as much damage to you as they would to other people, which is a pretty big deal. So it makes you a lot tankier. And early game, it gives you bonus protections that other people are just not going to have because they don't have that passive. Again, if you get into a drawn-out battle, that passive isn't going to help you at all. But if you're in an initial scrimmage, like an initial skirmish, then you're not really going to suffer very much because you can take a couple of shots before you actually get hurt. Now, as the stacks build up, you'll see above his portrait there's a little timer. I'll go ahead and let myself get hit if I can. Let me push this minion back a little bit so he stops. Yeah, he's going to fire at me. So you can see that there's a little thing that stacks up as I get hit. So that's letting you know. Right? You didn't have to mess with me. You chose to. You chose this, man. It didn't even have to happen like that. So, and again, it's really good at helping you clear out the rear waves. But ultimately it depends on which direction you want to go. If you're a support instead, it may be more advantageous. No, actually, no. I think it's advantageous across the board to level up his 2. It may be more advantageous to level up his 3 or possibly his 1. If you're playing support, I feel like the biggest advantage would come from his 1 because he can initiate. If you're playing jungle, his 1 is probably also the better thing to increase, mostly because it increases your movement speed, which allows for faster rotations. So you can get to the mid camps if you're helping out a support a lot faster, or you can gank a little bit better if you're playing jungle. I don't know how jungle Cabrakan works. I feel like it has every... Look, I don't get slowed, okay? You little ass. So stop. Slowing doesn't work on me. So just stop. Good God, you're annoying. Anyway, Cabrakan dishes out massive damage and a huge AoE around himself. The disadvantage to that is, well, you'll see this later. I should. Do I need that?
I'll take that.
This regeneration's actually probably better, and then we can save this up for the Rod of Tahuti, which is really good. But again, back to his 2, because I keep getting distracted. His 2, the big thing about his 2 is that as he gains those, even though he loses his protections as he gets hit, when he gets 5 hits, he's enraged to the point that his next cone in front of him will stun, which is actually a pretty damn big deal. I mean, it's a really big deal, to be perfectly honest. No. Cabrakan says no, sir. Where you going? Where you going? Nowhere. So another thing you can do is if you're soloing, you can actually punch, you can go ahead of the wave and then kind of gather them all up and then punch all of them at the same time. So there are ways to get around it, as there are with a lot of different characters. But going on to what I was saying before, he stuns in a cone, which means anyone that's trapped in that cone, doesn't matter how many people it is, could be 1, could be 5, they all get stunned for 1 second. 1 second base from level 1 to level 5, 1 second. Same with his Seismic Crush. He increases movement speed, 1 second stun. So he has 2 stuns, but both of them only last a second, no more. So that's fine. Again, as a jungler, I think he's pretty good. Because he can do quite a few things that help him clear. A little bit more attack speed and you wouldn't have any problem there. Also, if you want to get somewhere faster, you activate your 1, boom, you get more movement speed. Also, the next initial attack that you have will be a stun, which is a pretty big deal when you really look at it. No, I see no reason why this should happen. I've been stunned though. Fuck's sake. Can you stop? Raw, can you stop with your bullshit? Raw? What'd I just say? No, I stun you again. See that? And you're dead. Now, so as you can see, a prolonged engagement with Cabrakan has quite a few risks. The first and foremost, also you can use those walls to kind of distract minions because I think they last 16 seconds. So you can literally force them to stack up like wherever you want and then just mess them up if that's what you want to do. So, and the ult has a really short cooldown, so you can use it a lot. It's got a decent amount of utility as well. I don't even need CDR because the cooldown is so low that it doesn't matter. The only cooldown he really needs is on his Seismic Crush. But I don't know. I mean, that really helps with rotations and stuff, but it's also really good to keep it in reserve because it negates roots and slows. So if you get slowed, pop your 1, your slow is gone. You can't get slowed again either. Because for the next, how long does it last? Like 3 seconds, I think? 5 seconds. For the next 5 seconds, you can't get slowed again. Also, roots don't affect you, and you can't get rooted for the next 5 seconds. That makes you a bane to people like Scylla, some people like to do heavy hammer support on assassins now. He doesn't give a shit. He'll just use his 1 and walk away. So there's actually a lot of really... Oh my god, I need to let all these things just kind of gather together. Let me get rid of those. There's no way out! Go away, god. The walls will also distract your minions, which could be useful if you want to starve someone out. You can actually use that. Anyway, I'm getting distracted way too often by playing around with Cabrakan, so now I'm just going to go ahead and tell you. So the 2, it gives you a stun, it gives you protections, you lose protections as you go through, go into battle. 5 hits from any source of damage, you lose all those bonus protections. However, you gain the ability to stun. Once you use the stun, the stacks disappear. Also, if you stay out of battle for like 2 seconds, I think the stacks disappear on their own. So very quickly you can re-engage. So all you really have to do is just kind of step outside of battle real quick, and then boom, you're ready to tango once again. Makes you pretty dangerous. Your 1 gives you increased movement speed as you level it up. So level 1, you get 15% increased movement speed. Then 20, 25, 30, and 35. It also scales with magic power. I can't remember what the scaling is. That's 174. It's like 50%, I think. 50% magic power, 40%, something like that. I think it's that way across the board. I think this is 25% magic power, or 15, one of the two. Can't remember exactly. Well, there you go. See, I got that stun off. Then I can get another stun off when he's trying to go. Then he's still trying to get away. That's fine. I can just put up a wall, trap him, and fuck him up. Really easy to do. The bots are a lot smarter now than they were before. They like to utilize their minions a lot more, which is actually really, really clever. But so his 2 is really, really good. I level it up first. His 3 is what I level up next because it gives you an AoE damage. So everything around you gets hurt, and it gets hurt pretty badly, which is a big deal. What else could you get for Cabrakan? I can go ahead and get this, I guess, because why not? I can just catch Raw even more easily than I already do. But Cabrakan zooms when he has his 1. It is probably worthwhile. I got Gem of Isolation. Probably better to get rid of that and get Armor of Valor if you're playing against like physical gods or something. If you're solo laning or if you're playing as a support. Playing as a support especially, eventually getting Armor of Valor is a good idea because then you'll get those cooldown reductions on top of being able to, on top of the physical protection and the additional mana, which allow you to just kind of spam your abilities a bit more without having to worry about stuff. So that's a pretty big deal. The 1 is a really good initiate because you can run in, you won't be slowed, you won't be rooted, and then you can punch somebody as soon as you get there, and then initiate just on that god alone. Which is a big deal. It's really powerful. His initiates aren't as good with his... He doesn't have as many like AoE stuns, which a lot of Guardians have, which is one of the big deals. Why they make such good supports right now is because they have a lot of CC initiation. It's really important. He doesn't have that nearly as much, so again, I do think that his 1 actually gives him bonus damage against like the Phoenix and Towers, but I'm not sure.
Towers.
Maybe it doesn't.
Your team has destroyed a middle enemy Phoenix.
However, his 1 is really powerful. His 2 also really powerful. His 3 is an AoE around him that is channeled. You activate it, it stays as long as you have mana. You just sit here and go to town. Just go nuts. Now, while he's in this 3, it takes, what is it? It's like 35 mana at max level every half second. It also ticks damage every half second until you disable it. You can actually go for a very long time before you drain all of your mana. And if you have mana pots, then it may be even better. However, again, you don't have any CC immunities while doing this, while you're channeling the ability. So you can be interrupted by anything. Silence, stun, a knock up, those standard interrupts, they will still interrupt you. Like you don't get to get out of those. Also, something worth mentioning. Oh, that sucked. I should have used my G, but I really thought that I was going to just hit him and kill him. So that's something. Anyway, so you can be interrupted by anything. Now his passive, again, 5% damage decrease. That's not a huge deal, but it will give you a bit of an advantage because if you level up your 2, then you already gain bonus protections on top of your 5% less damage, on top of your allies taking 5% less damage. I mean, it's just all around useful, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, I knew I didn't have to use my creeping curse at that point. So there's a lot of advantages there just from, I mean, his kit synergizes very well for team fights too. Being able to just run in and then punch someone in the nose, just be like, hey, and then doing this, they'll try to interrupt you, they'll try to attack you, and if they do, then you can stop it and then just cone smack whoever. And you get another stun off, which helps your teammates even more. So focusing down Cabrakan becomes something you really need to do because he's dishing out damage, but at the same time it becomes risky because then he can stun the next, like, he can stun in an AoE, which means that he in himself becomes a zone. He has zoning potential just by being there because people are like, has he got 5 stacks yet? I don't know, there's no real indicator, but if he does, he can stun multiple people. That means you don't want to stay within melee range of him, just because he will instantly stun multiple people and potentially go right back to his 3, which also, by the way, draws people in. Oh wow, I can't believe that happened. I'm embarrassed. I'm gonna let Raw go just because I left the hole there. That's just dumb. So anyway, the 3 also works kind of like a whirlpool or like Hades' ult that draws people into it. However, it's very weak. It's called the Tremble CC. It's a very, very weak random CC. It makes it so you can't stand still. It's actually kind of good. It kind of works in tandem with Shibalanke's ult though, because you can literally use that to like force people to move. So Shibalanke's ult will go off and stun them. Pretty big deal. Pretty important. I mean, as synergy goes, it makes him work with Shibalanke kind of well. However, again, they can leave it, so you have to activate it pretty quickly or else it's not really going to give you that advantage at all. I think that's about it. The only other thing to talk about is his ult, but most of it's kind of self-explanatory. You can use it while you're on the go.
Weak defenses.
You can use the ult while you're on the go. It doesn't slow you down, so it gives you that advantage to chase with it. Otherwise, it'd be really, 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 really easy to escape. So you can just run with it like this, and then you can actually activate your 1. Run, and then activate it. You don't slow down in the slightest. It's really, really useful. It puts this very tiny semicircle area into it. It also deals damage. So it deals 100, 200, 250, 300, 350 plus, what is that, like 60%, 70, 80%, something like that of your magic power. It's actually really good. And the wall health goes up, so they actually have health rather than just having like a kind of marking counter or something. It's actually really easy to, it's really difficult to escape that once you've been like slowed. I have Gem of Isolation, so that gives me additional slow. But that's Cabrakan in a nutshell, guys. His ult has a lot of utility. It's pretty good. His 3 is fun as hell and really fucks up the Titan, because you can just sit here and go to town. His 2 has a stun. His 1 has a stun. His 1 has increased movement speed. It gets rid of roots and slows. He has 5% damage reduction on all allies in a circle around him. You can actually see the symbol show up on people's feet, which I'm sure you saw several times. I don't know if that froze or not. Personally, I think Cabrakan is the Cabrakan is the kind of person who will work really well in either the solo lane or as a support. He can jungle too, to be perfectly honest. I don't know if he'll be great at jungling. I feel like his initiate will really help him jungle, because you can use the 2 to kind of knock the camps down, and then the cooldown is so short on it that you'll probably be able to use it immediately after. If you go ahead and look at this again, yeah, the cooldown is 14 down to 10, so you know, it's not bad. You can actually use it pretty well. But that's Cabrakan. Next up, I can show you guys the new Mercury skin. New Mercury skin. It's run.exe. It's actually really cool. He doesn't have any emotes yet. But I can do that next time, or, you know, whatever. It's already been 22 minutes, so I think that's long enough for a video. So I'm going to stop here. But that's it for Cabrakan, guys. And then next, I'll show you Mercury run.exe, or we'll just forget about it. So let me know if you like this video. If not, you know, whatever. We'll find something else to do instead. But that's it for now, guys. This is Sage, and until next time, peace.